England, Switzerland, I'll say it again. Surely England can't be that terrible again.
These are more than normal football matches. These are national events.
First goal is going to be so vital.
Then a good ball in from Ndoye, it's tapped into the far post. It's Embolo that gives Switzerland the lead.
Everybody wants us to play really flowing football, and I thought we played well with the ball tonight.
Saka working it in, left footed shot! It's in off the post! And England are back on level terms!
I love them all, but he had to have an extra hug.
Gareth Southgate's England are putting us through it yet again.
Been here before. England to get the job done from the spot. Olakanji, right-footed, Pickford saves, diving to his left.
No, Saka knows what it's like when this moment goes wrong.
But exorcises demons brilliantly.
He was our best player, let alone standing up and scoring a penalty for us.
To come back from something like that was really difficult, but you know, I used it to make me stronger.
Trent Alexander-Arnold against Sommer. Not this time! England win on penalties. 5 sensational, crisp penalties.
These are special night. We're in another semi-final. We don't want the story to end there.
No, we certainly don't. So England secure a semi-final place with victory over Switzerland on penalties in Dusseldorf. Gareth Southgate's side were in trouble once more when Embolo stole it in at the far post to put Switzerland ahead with just 15 minutes left to go. But Bukayo Saka then produced a moment of individual brilliance, like we've seen all season for Arsenal when he equalised. England have relied heavily, though, haven't they, on that kind of individual performances from players rather than teams. Extra time failed to find a winner, but England went through with a set of flawless penalties after goalkeeper Jordan Pickford saved Akanji's first spot kick. Cole Palmer, Jude Bellingham, Saka, Ivan Toney, all successful, and then Trent Alexander-Arnold stepped up as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic pens.
Yeah, absolutely, and real belief in them as well. They showed, the characters, because there are some side stories to this as well. You know, Saka is the obvious one because he was one who missed in, the Euros against, in 21, 22 sort of.
Yeah, 2021.
Yeah, and took it brilliantly. And to
Can
be
you
fair,
imagine what he's thinking as he's walking up, Saka? Because the papers would say a completely different story, and we know what it's like if Saka were to miss. So I can't imagine what's going through his head as he's walking up to take that penalty.
Everything goes through your head.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's I
brutal,
said
isn't it? It's
after
brutal.
I took one, I said afterwards, what someone said to me, what was it like? And I said, well, I've never walked the plank, but it felt like I was walking a plank.
Wow.
As I'm going up to take a penalty, a million thoughts are going through your head. You're trying to be consistent. And fair play to him. I had quite a number of conversations with friends of mine, over the England team, like many of us do. And I kept saying, why? I couldn't get why so many people felt Saka should be dropped. I just didn't get it. I said, to me, he's been a bit of a shining light for England because first game they played against Serbia, his first half performance is one of the reasons why England got a result. Yeah. He was willing to take his defender on. I think he got caught in England's system. You look at his record as a club player, which I think he's about 47 goals for Arsenal in about 170 games, something like that. That's around about.
No, I think it's about that. 1 in 3. There.
1 in 3. Yeah. Same with England. Yeah. His goal record with England is pretty similar. Last night, it was a goal about someone being able to do something special in the moment. But the character of the team stood out yesterday. It wasn't a good performance by England. They looked much better, well organised. And do you know what made me think, Addy, from having Andy Woodman in the studio yesterday, when he talked about working at Arsenal for 5 years, the Bromley manager, Andy Woodman, and talked about Saka and could play that role. Now, I know this because I'm involved in the industry, that you have connections a lot, and his connection is very close to Gareth Southgate. He's probably knew Andy, and obviously Gareth has to make the ultimate decision. But I'm sure Gareth's had a conversation about playing Saka in a different position. He's gone, had him at Arsenal. Done it brilliantly as a kid. It wouldn't faze him at all. Because Andy spoke yesterday with a lot of confidence about Saka could do it, no problem at all. I
should have pressed him a bit more. He definitely knew, didn't he?
He definitely knew. And look, he would have had... He's his best mate. He'd have had a conversation with Gareth about Saka and whether we could do it. And Gareth would have done his homework and asked Andy about, how he felt about what he's capable of doing. And I thought... That's being sensible. That's being smart of knowing what someone's capable of doing. It's not just doing a training session, see how you go and do it. He's obviously put a bit of work in to find out how good Saka can do that role. Because yesterday, I thought he was England's best player. And by the way, just on a side note, any harsh sometimes sport where Akanji was the standout player in the game, and he's the one who misses the penalty.
You're watching all these Man City teammates go up to him. You're seeing it, everyone's trying to embrace him. You can tell he just wants the ground to swallow him up.
Yeah.
But he was fantastic. But it happens, the history is littered with superstar players, best players, man of the match players missing penalties. It just happens. 3 of the penalty takers were subs. Obviously, Trent and Ivan Toney came on late and took their penalties. What's it like for them when you're not really getting in the rhythm of a match to then come on when you know you're coming on to take a pen, by the way?
Yeah. Look, the 3 that we're going to mention, Trent, and we're being lazy, I know, just saying Trent, but Trent, Palmer and Toney, if you could pick the most confidence, nearly bordering arrogance, but take a penalty brilliantly, they're the 3 you would pick.
It's insane.
And you have to credit the manager for that as well, for saying, I'm going to make changes, I'm going to bring off certain players. Them 3 are going on because we could easily be in a penalty shootout.
And to be fair, those 3 are putting their hands up as well in training.
Exactly,
saying, I want to take one. If it gets to that stage, I'm taking one.
But they all know. They've all got that about them where they just go, do you know what? I can take this in this moment. I mean, Palmer's was a great penalty. Trent's one, literally, as he's stepping up, he's like, took the run up, and I'm thinking, but he's hit it with so much venom.
He's smashed that, hasn't he? He really has. And
Tony, we know what he does.
Tony's penalties, though. I mean, there was an Italian striker, some of our older listeners might know, called Pepe Signori, who used to kind of almost do this nonchalant run-up as well, like 1 or 2 steps. And Tony's kind of got that as well, where it's just, like, surely the run-up needs to be a bit more, Tony.
Yeah. Well, you would normally say that, but he did hit his penalty with force.
Yeah, he hit it.
He took a 2-step run-up, but he actually pinged it in the corner. Fair play. Look, that's, England are not associated with confidence and belief so often in sport, and yet them 3 guys stood up, and the others, and the other 2
and
them
the
as well.
Others as well. Yeah.
But England's penalty shootout felt, how can I say, it felt really professional. It felt like it'd been really worked on.
Finally.
Yeah,
and obviously we've exercised those demons way back in 2018 in that game against Colombia. So now, I mean, there will be a generation of kids watching England who don't know about the history of England missing and losing penalty shootouts. They're like, oh, yeah, we always go through, it's fine. And I feel like these players now have that mentality as well. After the game, England captain Harry Kane asked if this is now the turning point in the tournament for them. This is what he had to say.
It's hard to say because last week could have been the turning point with the last minute goal. This week could be, I think, what we've realised, and I think the experience in our team, we've been in these moments before. We know what it takes. We know how hard it is. We spoke at the start of the tournament. We're trying to climb a mountain here. There's a lot of steps along the way, and to get to the very top, we're going to have to beat some good teams. We're going to have to go through some, deep moments, and that's what we've done so far. So all I'd say is this has given us more and more belief. It gives us more and more energy that we'll do whatever it takes to get over the line, and that's what we keep doing.
I don't want to be Mr. Doom and Gloom just because, it's a lovely day out there. The sun is shining through the window here in talkSPORT Towers. Harry Kane. You know when you're trying to you kind of zero in on a player and just watch him. You don't really watch what's going on. I'm watching Harry Kane in his movement, and I'm watching Bukayo Saka get down the line and cross it with his weaker foot, the right foot, and he's hoping for someone to make those runs across the edge of the box, and there's just no movement from Harry Kane. I feel like there's a Harry Kane issue that no one will talk about. And look, we're through to the semi-final, so maybe it's too late to discuss it now. But when Ivan Toney comes on, you feel like you get a bit more. He's holding up the defenders. He's having a fight with the defenders. He's making those runs. And Harry Kane just isn't doing it right now for me. I mean, look, I get it. He scored a couple of goals, and you can never take him off because it's Harry Kane. And if an opportunity does come, you expect him to put it away. But we're not getting the best out of Harry, or Harry's not showing the best for England right now, I don't think.
No, tough one.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to be doom and gloom. I know.
No, what I would say is that, if you look back in history from '66, where you could say Jimmy Greaves was the most notable striker that ended up Jeff Hurst getting the place, that ended up working out really well. I can remember Vialli in 1990. He was the star before the tournament. Then, obviously, Scolacci comes in. After a few games, he got dropped. Then you could go on to, if you go back to Argentina when they won it, Martinez was the leading striker with Argentina. He got dropped. Would Gareth do that? I don't think so. I really don't think he'll do that. But it does feel that he's a a fringe player in this England team at the moment, Harry. And he's always been the leader, the one who's been decisive, the one who's sort of dragged England out of a problem so often. And now he's just a fringe player for them, which feels really strange, especially after the season he's had at Bayern Munich.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't
it?
it?
And we know he had an injury towards the end of the season. And how much has that sort of plagued him towards this build-up in this Euros? But it doesn't feel like Harry Kane to me at all at the moment.
Yeah. I've never thought he was the most mobile of strikers.
No.
But he will still give you that burst of sort of 20-yard run or a 10-yard run just to get behind a striker. He just doesn't do that.
You made a really valid point.
Thank you.
Which is, no, you make many, Addy, but I meant as in, it sounds like I was being patronising.
No, I'll take it.
But when you don't see a striker do the basics that he's very good at, is getting across defenders, you start to think, Saka put in 2 or 3 yesterday. You'd expect, even if he's challenged, he might be able to get a corner or get something on the cross. He didn't do that. And that's strange watching Harry Kane, who's been such a great striker. I mean, look, he's the all-time England greatest ever goal scorer with 5 goals, and he's been tremendous. I think Gareth will lay his absolute hat on him. I don't think it's the same indulgence of what Portugal did with Ronaldo. It's a different age, and Ronaldo really was not involved, not even to even a close level of what Harry's had a part to play. He's got a couple of goals, which Ronaldo hasn't.
Was ist das? talkSPORT?